Over the next few weeks, we're going to introduce a new segment here on Rising called Small Business Boom, where we explore how small businesses are growing in the healthy economy and the role the 2017 tax cuts have played on Main Street. Today, we welcome as our first guest Joseph Semprevivo, the founder and CEO of Joseph's Light Cookies. He has a remarkable story of how his childhood battle with diabetes turned him into an entrepreneur who brought to market the first sugar-free ice cream and cookies. Joseph, thanks so much for being here. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
So what inspired you to get into small business and entrepreneurial activity, Joseph?
Well, it was, being a young kid, and I watched my parents suffer in the restaurant business, and I realized one day I wanted to be my own boss and create jobs and stimulate an economy, and that's exactly what we've been trying to do.
So tell us about Joseph's Light Cookies. How did it get started, and what were your personal experiences with type 1 diabetes and how that affected the way that you went about starting this business and what you were trying to accomplish?
Well, when I got diagnosed at the age of 9, my parents and I were told that I wouldn't live past the age of 17. That was a long time ago. And the fortunate part is it wasn't cancer. It wasn't these horrible terminal diseases, and you could live a normal life. But what it did do was inspire me to create a product, So I asked my parents, could you make me a sugar-free cookie? And when they did on that Saturday morning, it was the first cookie I had in years. I was 15 years old. I took a bite, I cried, and I said, Mom, Dad, let's share this with other kids like myself. And that's what we did. And it wasn't really intended to start a business. It was intended to just share a product with other diabetics.
How did you end up securing partnerships with Kroger, Whole Foods, and QVC?
Oh, yeah, that was tough. I mean, especially being 17 at the time and traveling from business to business as a young entrepreneur, it just took a lot of hard work and pounding the pavement, a lot of phone calls. I call it, smiling and dialing, right? You're always calling, always smiling on the phone. So eventually the persistence and perseverance paid off, and we got into those accounts, not just with our cookies, but with our sugar-free pancake syrup. And so we're all over now.
And so how did the slow economy of 2007 to 2016 affect your growth in this business? And what's it been like, by contrast, for the last 2 years, where we've had an economy that's really been moving fast?
Well, we see it in the confidence, the small business confidence numbers, right? I mean, we have the highest numbers in this century alone. Well, prior to that, we were very uncomfortable with the direction of the country. We were not certain what regulations would be added, what would put us out of business, what new tax rates were going to be added. And then fortunately, President Trump got elected and our confidence boomed. As we can see it in the Dow Jones with the 40% growth and everything else. It was a vitamin B12 shot to all middle class taxpayers in this country, which it'll enable them to get closer to retirement. So now we're very confident. We're investing back into our business, investing back in the economy, hiring people. President Trump's tax cut, we use that money and invested it back into our business by expanding, marketing our sugar-free maple syrup and adding more production capacity with our pancake syrup, which we would have otherwise never have done. We have 5 new team members making the pancake syrup. We gave raises to our team.
Yeah, I want to ask about that. So the tax cuts specifically, Joseph, those benefited not just your business, but employees in terms of their wages.
Oh, directly. So what we have is, I always like to refer to them as buckets. So every time we earn dollars, we put in a bucket the tax money that we're going to actually owe the government. So when we're able to take some money out of that bucket, and because we freed up dollars from a lower tax rate, we give that to the people. We give that to our team members. So we were able to give up to $5,250 in raises. And one of my team members, Mike, he has 2 little girls. He wanted a reliable vehicle. And now he got extra money to pay for a reliable vehicle for his wife to drive for his two daughters. And he spent that. And the cool thing, part of this, Buck, is he bought a car from Michigan, made by union members in Michigan. A transportation company took it from Michigan to Florida. The salesperson got a commission, and the automobile dealer made a profit on it. All of that because of one tax reduction by the Republican Congress.
Beyond the tax cuts, how have regulations here in D.C. and specifically perhaps the repeal of regulations under the Trump administration, how is that affecting your business?
Well, number one is the confidence that we need to move forward. It's psychological. Number two, it's the physical paperwork and burden. I spend about 32 hours to 36 hours of my week doing government regulations, just sitting at a desk, filling out paperwork from Commerce, Bureau of Labor and Statistics, Department of Labor, IRS, Tax and Revenue, on and on and on and on. President Trump is really freeing up these regulations, giving us some ability to have confidence in our future, knowing that more and more regulations are going to be shedded. And that's what business owners need. When they get into business, they don't realize how burdensome oftentimes it is and how much paperwork you actually have to do. And with Trump working hard to eliminate these regulations, he's injecting confidence back into the 30 million small business owners out there and the 60 million people that they employ.
What else would you like to see Congress and perhaps President Trump working together on? What would you like to see them get accomplished to help small businesses going forward?
Well, there's this Social Security Act by Larson, Social Security 2100. And what that does is it increases the burden to small business owners and middle class taxpayers with the rate of about 2.4%. So said another way, it's an increase in taxes on middle class and small businesses. And when I read the Social Security report, which is about 270 to 290 pages long, and under the 2 years of Trump administration, he added back 10 years to Social Security. So Social Security was supposed to be reduced, the benefits, by 2023, run out of funds for 100% of benefits to be given. Because of Trump's policies, tax cuts, reduced regulations, Trump added 10 years to Social Security, just from a booming economy. So making tax cuts permanent and not increasing taxes on small business owners with this ploy called Saving Social Security, Social Security Act of 2100, we could continue to boom the economy and have GDP go north, increase of north of 2.8% with the permanent tax cuts. And these are things that we can do to create more jobs and have wages increase by 0.9 of a point because of permanent tax cuts. This is what these tax policies do. They boom the middle class. They boom small business owners.
All right, Joseph, congrats on all your success so far, and thank you for sharing your expertise and everything you've learned along the way. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having us, Buck. I appreciate it.
We'll be back with more Rising.